Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Before we begin our Emancipation Day celebration, let us bow our heads in prayer. Heavenly Father, we pause in gratitude for the gift of freedom remembered on this day. Thank you for the courage of those who endured, resisted, and overcame, and for every step, past and present, towards liberation and dignity. As we reflect on this journey, help us honor our history with honesty and grace. Heal what is still broken among us and guide us towards wholeness. Unite our country across every divide in heart, in spirit, and in shared purpose. Teach us not only to seek what is right, but to choose what is good for all people. Give us wisdom to act with compassion, courage to walk together, and humility to care for one another. May freedom live not only in memory, but in how we uplift every life. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Sharon. Your words are perfect. Good morning, and morning is good. I'm truly honored to be here today and deeply grateful to Shaw Main Streets and all they do for this community. What's happening here is special. Shaw isn't just thriving, it's leading. In 2025, it became the most visited Main Street in the entire country and the most visited in Washington, D.C. Millions of people are coming right here, not just for their business, but for the energy, the culture, and the sense of community that all of you have built together. And that's something truly worth celebrating. I want to thank the following in alphabetical order: DC 250, DC History Center, DC Public Television and Entertainment, Destination DC, Events DC, the Mayor's Office, and Shaw Main Streets. I also want to extend a heartfelt thank you to Marquette Milton, often referred to as the soldier of U Street, a prominent Civil War reenactor and historic interpreter. He will be in our experience along with Dr. Smith and be on site to share how powerful our 51 Steps to Freedom augmented reality tour truly is, bringing the heart and soul we all need to be inspired from. Marquette has been dedicated to reenactment since he was a junior in high school, and his passion truly shines through his work. He is one of the first adopters of 51 Steps to Freedom and the very first person to sign digitally the Emancipation Proclamation, further demonstrating his deep commitment to preserving and advancing and making current this important history. Today is DC Emancipation Day. We remember that 164 years ago, President Abraham Lincoln freed hundreds of, actually thousands of enslaved people in the District of Columbia. We gather at this memorial not only to remember history, but to take responsibility for what comes next. We stand in the legacy of the DC Emancipation Day and the Emancipation Proclamation, a document that changed the direction of a nation and continues to serve as a beacon of those seeking freedom around the world. We stand in the presence of the African American Civil War Memorial, a testament to courage, sacrifice, and belief in a country that had not yet begun to believe in themselves. And today, we do more than remember. Today, we make history current. 51 Steps combines augmented reality, music, animation, and immersive storytelling at the real-world locations, including this memorial. Today, you can digitally sign the Emancipation Proclamation and see your name become a part of a living digital monument. Not one moment, not one movement, not one generation. Like 51 Steps, freedom has never been a single act. It has always been a journey, step by step through struggle, step by step through sacrifice, step by step through people who refused to turn back. And now it's our turn to take the next step when it's uncomfortable, when it's inconvenient, when it asks more of us than we are planned to give. Freedom is not just something we inherit, it's something we build. The truth is, the Emancipation Proclamation was not the end of the story, it's the opening line, which means today, right here, right now, it was signed once in history, then it must be signed again, over and over again, with every generation. Not with ink, but with intention. Not with paper, but with purpose. Not in words alone, but in how we show up for one another. 51 Steps to Freedom is not just an idea, it's a commitment. A step for every voice, a step for every community, and a step forward together. Today, we invite you to take the next step, to stand not only as a witness for history, but as a participant in its continuation. Today, we ask you to digitally sign the Emancipation Proclamation, not to rewrite the past, but to reaffirm its promise. Freedom must still be chosen, protected, and expanded for all. Your name becomes your step. Your step becomes part of the 51 Steps to Freedom, the largest outdoor museum in the world right here in our nation's capital. And together, those steps become a path forward. So let this day be more than a memory. Let it become a movement. Let it be about commitment, that we will not skip the hard steps, that we will not stop halfway, that we will not leave anyone behind. Because when freedom reaches everyone, that is when freedom is real. And when history looks back, let it say, they didn't just honor the past, they advanced the promise. They didn't just remember freedom, they expanded it. They just didn't talk about unity, they chose it. And step by step, they brought a nation together, closer to being good for all. That is our step. That is our moment. That is our signature. I would like now to introduce my new best friend, Gretchen Wharton, board chair of the Shaw Main Streets.
Thank you, H. Thank you, H. Thanks so much. It's a wonderful day, and it's a perfect day for, really, quite frankly, a perfect occasion. I'm Gretchen Wharton. I'm a lifelong resident of Shaw and chair of the board of Shaw Main Streets. It's a commercial revitalization and historic preservation nonprofit serving all of the Shaw neighborhood. Shaw is home to landmarks associated with many African heroes and sheroes, including the African American Civil War Memorial Museum, the Carter G. Woodson Home, A. Philip Randolph Home, the Howard Theater, Lee's Flower Shop, the Addison Scurlock Studio, the Blanche Kelso and Josephine Bruce Home, Chuck Brown Way, the site of the former Bohemian Caverns, and the former site of Griffith Stadium. And I have to smile when I say that because I can remember how many times my father, who was such a baseball fan, used to drag me, his only child. Didn't matter if I was a girl, I had to go to every baseball game. So there we walked up to Griffith Stadium. These landmarks and others in the greater Shaw area are included in the 51 Steps to Freedom, an immersive, augmented reality citywide web-based trail that combines storytelling with landmarks throughout the city. People often say, is that AI? And let's all get a little lesson here, and I'm sure everybody's going to Google this after the fact. AI is different from augmented reality. This is augmented reality. The 51 Steps to Freedom Trail launches today, the 164th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's signing of the District of Columbia Compensated Emancipation Act. We invite everyone to begin exploring 51 Steps to Freedom today by visiting some of the Shaw stops on the trail, learning about some of the trail's 300 stories, and patronizing some of our neighborhood's businesses along the way. Then continue to explore Washington, D.C. as a destination for cultural, educational, and experiential tourism through the nation's 250th year. Thank you.
I would like to introduce my hero, Dr. Frank Smith, who is the founder and executive director of the African American Civil War Memorial Museum.
Thank you very much, H, and all of the people here from the 51st Steps. This is, I guess, the first step of the 51st Steps today, and I've got to do this soon while I can still walk that far, Paul. So it's not exactly Selma to Montgomery, but it's still going to be a nice little hike for me. But I'm happy to be here this morning on DC Emancipation Day, because this is an important day in the history of our city and the history of our nation. And so any chance we get to celebrate, we want to take that chance to do so. And today we will read, at 11 o'clock today, we'll read the names of 3,100 African Americans who first tasted freedom for the first time in their lifetime in the United States on this day, as President Lincoln signed into law the DC Emancipation Act, which freed those 3,100 people. And we call their names out of respect for them. And we read it into the universe so that they can know that we still honor them here in Washington, D.C. And so I look at the 51st Steps as another step along the way. We are concentrated in the U Street area. We're concentrated in the Shaw community. We're concentrated at the foothill of Howard University. We're concentrated near many other things here. But 51st Steps makes this a citywide program. And so we had to, like all ideas, they start out someplace and then they grow. And this is one of the ways that they grow. And in his absence, I want to say thank you also to Bernard Dimchek, who is in the Mississippi Delta doing something while he should be here doing this. But he's doing something. I talked to him yesterday. He was huffing and puffing trying to get through the heat in the Mississippi Delta. But he's also on the board of directors of the African American Civil War Museum and is one of our leading spokespersons there. That means that we all work together in these things to make them all happen in a way that's meaningful to the city and meaningful to the nation. This is the African American Civil War Memorial had two purposes from its beginning. One was to contribute to the revitalization of U Street. And if you stand here and look, as I do, toward Howard University, when we first started working on this project, you could see Howard University from here. Literally see Howard University from here. You can't see Howard University from here today because of all the development that's taken place around here and all of the growth and all of the development that has taken place. The second purpose was to bring notice to these 200,000 soldiers who did so much to make this country a free place. And 2 years ago, almost on the same date, the Guinness Book of World Records recognized the African American Civil War Memorial as a memorial with more names than any other monument in the world. Wow. We take these names from complete obscurity to a point where they are now recognized internationally. And we get visitors now from around the world who are walking around with a list of names of places that they get stamps in their book as they go from one Guinness recognized spot to another, and we're on that list now as one of those places that they seek out. So I wanted to say that this morning because we still have some work to do here. We expect to reopen by July 1st of this year, and then we're going to start a program called 250 for the 250th. 250 for the 250th. I'll tell you more about that later, but I've been working on this idea of figuring out how does the rephrasing actually what Frederick Douglass said, what to the black man is the 4th of July? What to the African American Civil War Museum is the 250th anniversary of this country? When we know full well that for about the first 125 of those years, this country has legally recognized slavery. And African Americans were enslaved in this country with no hope for freedom. So what we recognized 250 years, well, we made some progress during that time, thanks to these guys behind me. who got in the war and made a difference. We made some progress, although we still have a lot to do. We made some progress in that time. So we're going to talk about how everybody can participate in that. So I want to thank you, H, for bringing this to our site. That's what we're here for. We belong to the nation now. We belong to the world. And we're happy to have you here with us today. And I look forward to y'all staying around with us this morning as we do the reading of the names. Thank you very much.
Now you know why I said he's my hero. I'd like to introduce Dr. Sharita Jacobs. She is the Historian Chair, Co-Chair of the Historian Advisory Council for 51 Steps for Freedom.
So good morning, everyone. So thank you so much for coming out today. My name again is Sharita Jacobs Thompson, and I have the honor to serve as one of the historians with this wonderful, wonderful project, which dives into the sites throughout this city that tell the rich history and culture of Washington, D.C. As a historian of the Civil War and Reconstruction era, I'm excited about this particular stop, all of them, but this particular stop, which allows Washingtonians and visitors alike an opportunity to learn about the role that over 200,000 men and countless women and children played in the process of emancipation. And what better day to launch this project than the day that over 3,000 enslaved people who lived and labored in the city gained their freedom. So thank you to Dr. Frank Smith for his vision in creating this memorial and museum, and to everyone who put so much work and effort into bringing this project to life. So what we need for you to do now is come in to these spaces and start to explore the rich history and culture of our city, the nation's capital. Thank you.
So we're definitely bringing it to the streets. And now I'd like to introduce the co-founder of 51 Steps to Freedom, the driving force behind its vision and impact, Tracy Halliday.
Good morning, everybody. So 51 Steps is transforming Washington, D.C., as you heard, into the largest outdoor museum in the world. And it's free. We bring American history to life right in the palm of your hand in the very places where it happened. Now, by turning neighborhoods into immersive experiences, we invite people to engage directly with the stories that have shaped our nation. Stories of resilience, creativity, opportunity, and hope. Think Pokemon Go, but with a purpose. We're meeting the next generation where they are, using technology they know and trust, and connecting them with history in a meaningful and memorable way. And the best part, you don't need a headset, you don't need goggles, just your phone or your tablet and your sense of curiosity. Today we are proud to introduce a new stop on the trail, the African American Civil War Memorial. This powerful site, as you heard, honors more than 200,000 United States colored troops who served during the Civil War. Through this experience, you'll hear the story of the memorial and the soldiers it represents, including insights from Dr. Frank Smith, the founder, who helped bring this tribute to life, and much more. This stop is part of a broader journey through Shaw and the U Street corridor, one of the most culturally significant areas in Washington, D.C. Just nearby, you can explore places like Bohemian Caverns, Ben's Chili Bowl, Lee's Flowers, and the historic Howard Theater, just to name a few. Each one adding another layer to the story of this community. Now, if this is your first time using augmented reality, here are a few simple tips to get started. First, go to 51stepstofreedom.org to get your free ticket. Once you've downloaded the browser, you'll open it, tap on the map, and select the stop you'd like to explore. There's no beginning and no end. Wherever you are, there's a stop for you to explore. Be sure to allow camera access and location access while using the app because it needs to know where you are to show you the stops where you're at. Then, use your phone like a pair of glasses. Lift it up, look left, look right, look up, look down, look all around. There are stories hidden all around you and they unfold at different times while you're there. If something catches your attention, step closer. Move toward it, walk around it. You can actually read the Emancipation Proclamation on the podium when you go to sign it today. This experience is interactive, so be sure to read and follow the prompts on your screen. And if you see something, tap, swipe, interact with your screen, because it's very, very engaging and interacting, and that's where the fun begins. As you explore, keep in mind the trail is currently in beta, so congratulations, you're now all official beta testers. Let us know how it goes. We welcome your feedback. It's an important part of building something meaningful together for our city. Thank you for being here today and for stepping into history with us. Now let's explore. Thank you so much.
$394.20. Evelyn, $131.40. Mary Shields, no amount. Winnie Ann Johnson, no amount. James Crampton, $175.20. Melinda Dyer,